Week in review, January 2nd, 2023. First piece I want to talk about is there was a comment on my YouTube channel from a few days ago, maybe a week, and the comment said, pretty sure this is the dude that made all the lies about David Goggins and was in a lawsuit. So I am not that guy. And to give you some context on what he's talking about, apparently Goggins was on Joe Rogan's show recently, last week or so. And on that show, Goggins talked about another SEAL who questioned Goggins' combat experience and what he's done in the past. And Goggins then confronted the guy, I don't know how, and he called him out. They verbally went at it apparently, and Goggins eventually threatened to sue the guy for defamation. And he did not end up suing him, but whatever. I guess this is the first time Goggins is openly talking about the whole ordeal, and he does not name the guy. So I guess this person who commented on my page, pretty sure this is the dude that made all the lies about David Goggins and was in a lawsuit, thought it was me. I mean, it's an easy thing to assume only because there's not a lot of SEALs out there, and so he's probably just picking a public SEAL to tag this on. I wanted to get in front of it and just say to people who watch this or listen, I was not that guy. I am not that guy. I know Goggins. We did a project together when I was in the Navy. There were some fitness videos that the Navy wanted us to make, and so we did those together. He at the time was really big into running still, or that was early on in the whole running thing, and I was already working for CrossFit, doing CrossFit and the Navy stuff at the same time. So you could actually probably find those videos on Google if you look hard enough. But I'm good with Goggins. I haven't talked to him in a long time, but no issue, that's not me. Speaking of that community, we recently lost a hero, someone I knew well and who'd been to combat multiple times. He was the commanding officer of SEAL Team 1, and he was only the commanding officer for about a month. I was invited to that change of command. I couldn't go because I had a scheduling conflict. I was planning on going, but I was running my shoot and move match. So it was that same weekend, and I wasn't able to make it down for his change of command. And then a month later, he passed away. So I regret not that I didn't make it to his change of command. And now that he's gone, it makes it's a really tragic situation. I'm not going to go into the details too much here because it's not a lot public about it at this point. And so next week, I probably won't do a week in review because on Monday I'll be in Coronado at his memorial. I recently listened to a book by Benjamin Netanyahu called Bibi, My Story. And in that book, he talks a lot about his brother Jonathan, Yanni, and he, like Benjamin, was in the Special Forces for Israel, the Sayeret Matkal, and actually Bibi was shot on a hostage rescue mission on an airplane takedown when he was at that unit, and his brother ended up becoming the commanding officer of that unit. Well, the book Bibi, it's an autobiography. I again listened to it. I enjoyed the book, and I enjoyed his story, Bibi's story, but in it he talks a lot about his brother Yanni and refers to him and how influential he was on his life and how much he meant to him, essentially. Well, he was killed on a mission with that unit, with that special unit in Entebbe on July 4th, 1976. And the mission was a huge success except for him getting shot and killed. But they rescued a large number of hostages. And after that, Bibi and his brothers they collected all of his letters that he had written to his family and friends over the years and put them into a book. And the book is called Self-Portrait of a Hero, from the letters of Jonathan Netanyahu. And so he talked about that book in his autobiography, Bibi, that I read. Oh, and he is, if you don't know who that is, he's the Prime Minister of Israel. And he has been, I think, 3 times now. He was just recently reinstated, or won the election to be the prime minister within the last few weeks. And I think, yeah, it's his 3rd time. So the Bibi book, I know I'm all over the place on this, but the Bibi book was really good. I listened to that. It's really long, great story, great leader. Seems like a great warrior from his time in the special forces. Great man, and he really proud of his nation and proud of his people. And check out that book. I highly recommend it. And from listening to that book, I then read the Self-Portrait of a Hero book, The Letters, and I was skeptical of the format when I purchased it, and didn't think I was gonna like, following the letters through this guy's life. But it actually read really well, and it was neat insight into what he was going through at certain times in his life, and even some of the struggles he had being a special operator and being separated from his wife and eventually getting a divorce because of all the time away, and how committed he was to being a soldier. It read well. I really enjoyed it. And then there's additional text talking about kind of framing what was going on in his life at the time, and then also the mission that he was killed on. So if you're interested in stories like that, check out both books. It's funny because in the past year, the history of a lot of special forces units, or special operations units, I should say, has been more appealing to me than ever, maybe, except for when I decided to become a SEAL. Then I was really into all the books. But for a while, I've kind of not read books like that, but recently I'm finding more, I guess as I've aged away from that community, or my time in, I've become more interested in the history of special operation units. To flow into another topic, not really related, but related to special operations. Well, actually not related to special operations. I saw recently yesterday, the Tactical Games announced that Under Armour is sponsoring them. That's super cool. Congratulations to the Tactical Games on getting a sponsor like that. Pretty cool that Under Armour is diving into the shooting sports like that. I know they're big in the hunting scene, so it makes sense, but large brands, Under Armour, Reebok, large apparel brands, Nike for sure, typically you don't see engaging in the shooting sports. So it's really cool to see Under Armour do that. Years ago, we had a bunch of conversations with Under Armour. I flew out there with Greg actually at one point, and this is probably like 10, 12 years ago, before Reebok, about them sponsoring the games or working with us. Obviously, it never happened. I think it was good at the time that we went with Reebok. I don't think Under Armour was a good fit. Even at this point, I don't think they'd be a good fit. But anyways, cool to see them with the Tactical Games, and congratulations to the Tactical Games on their success and where they've gone with that sport. And again, I've said this before, I'll just touch on it lightly. It's not for me. That's not the type of shooting sport I would like to participate in, but they're doing great things, exposing a lot of fitness people to shooting and giving them an outlet to compete in that. On that note, I competed this weekend yesterday in a PCC competition, so pistol caliber carbine, a USPSA match, short stages, really fast, a lot of movement, a lot of fast shooting. That used to be my primary competition style of shooting, but recently, for the past few years, I've been really big into long range shooting. So I have not shot one of these matches in about 2 years, and I shot it yesterday. Had a lot of fun. Took 9th out of about 64 people, so happy with that result. I might start dedicating a little more time to also practicing for this while still also doing long range shooting, and try to shoot more matches just to stay sharp, and because I really enjoy it. Final note, the Dolphins lost again, 5 losses in a row. I think our playoff hopes have just gone down the drain. So such a promising season, such a promising outlook on a season. Um, sad to see it go down like this. Hopefully Tua can get healthy and stay healthy, and I don't know if he's playing next week. We'll see, but I'm already thinking about next season because they disappointed again. All right, thanks for listening. See you guys soon.